Good morning and welcome to Floridian Future. I am Saga Stephen and I have with me a very, very special guest, Rebekah Ricks. Now, Rebekah and I have been friends for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. Seems like
Yeah.
forever. We're sisters. We're sisters from different mothers. But Rebekah writes an amazing Substack. And Rebekah and I have done a lot of work up in Tallahassee. We are like the dynamic duo. We go up there and get things done. So Rebekah is the legislative queen in writing bills and keeping on the pulse of what is happening. And right now in Tallahassee, we are having, DeSantis has called a special session. Now, the special session is about the redistricting. However, there was another very important bill that passed in the Senate, but the House killed it. And DeSantis is going, no, 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 not so fast. So we're going to talk about that. It's very important. It's super important to both of us and to anyone that ever has any medical, anything ever done to them, especially moms. So, Rebekah, if you could, I'll let you take the lead here. It's SB 6D is what of it, but
Yes.
explain to us just
Well,
brief overview. Special session is going to be for 4 days. So people, we need you making calls to your representatives. We need you. So Rebekah, please jump in and explain to us what's really going on.
okay, so this special session is super special because usually it's over one specific thing. So it was originally over the redistricting, but now we actually threw in two really cool things. One is the Medical Freedom Act, and the second thing is the AI Bill of Rights. So they've thrown in two extra, and it is fast, like ninja fast. So, they get it done in 4 days. So it's a lot. Redistricting is going to take a lot of heat. And these other two bills, I would hate to say are controversial because I don't really think they're controversial. I don't think they're controversial.
Well, they're
but
only controversial because the lobbyists make it that way. They try
Right.
to twist things so that you don't know what's really in the fine print.
Right. So this new bill did pass on the House side, or passed in the Senate, but not in the House. So what this does is a couple things. It adds conscientious exemptions. All right. So other states have that. We don't have it for preschool and daycare for vaccine exemptions. So
Now
you
explain
could
what
just
conscientious choice is, because conscientious exemptions. Explain that for the people
so
that really don't know.
Okay, so we have religious exemptions. I can say for religious reasons, I don't want to do this. And then we have medical exemptions. Okay, a doctor says you don't want to do this. But a conscientious exemption says, I just don't want to do that. Like, I don't feel good about this. Because kind of for people like me, okay, well, I'm Baptist. It's not really against my religion to get an exemption. So I feel, but we'll have to do, or a medical exemption. It's just an easier way for people with children to say, hey, I don't want to I don't object to this. Let's not do it and get another way in to do it. So there are actually, I think, 6 or 7 other states that already have conscientious exemptions.
Well, this goes back to freedom to choose what goes in your body, or as a parent, what goes in your child's body. And this is like Nuremberg.
Right.
This is like, you can be forced, and we don't want to be forced or coerced. So explain more. Go ahead.
Well, and I think it goes back to the fact, informed consent. If you tell me I have to do something, I mean, as an 8-year-old, I tell my 8-year-old he has to pick up the toys. He's automatically going to say, bow up. Well, we as Americans and free thinkers are saying you're going to make us do something. I think the issue sometimes that we forget, it's not really about vaccines. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's about informed consent. It's about parental rights. Like, I really object to the government telling I have to do anything with my children. And then for the government telling me I have to do something medical with my children, where's my and I think the other part of this is that parents for years have just been told that this is okay. And then if they push back and said, well, maybe I don't want to give my baby a vaccine, they were fired from their pediatrician. Right.
So and the thing is also, because I worked at a medical clinic and we have a lot of our patients that are highly sensitive to the ingredients that are in the vaccines. And if you gave these to them, they would go into anaphylactic shock. And okay, so let's say you have 3 kids. One of them is highly allergic and would go into anaphylactic shock. Okay, she would get, or he would get a medical exemption. But your other two maybe are not so highly, but as a parent, do you want them? No, you don't. Again, it's a freedom of choice, freedom that we have. And it's kind of like, okay, we have to know all the ingredients that goes into a donut. We have to know
Right.
all the ingredients that goes into a candy bar or anything else. You have the freedom to choose if you want to eat that or drink it or anything. They're taking that
Yes.
away on a medical level, and that is not good. All you're asking for, it's not about no vaccines. If you want to take vaccines, go take them. This is not about no vaccines. It is about informed consent, right?
Right. So there's a couple things in this bill that are really huge. All right. First is that pediatricians get a kickback for every vaccine they sell. So
Oh,
this
what?
bill
Say that
actually
again.
a kickback.
Say that
I
again.
called it a kickback. They get a they get an
A
incentive.
kickback.
A kickback. They would get a little kickback. They get an incentive for every child that gets vaccinated. If their practice is at a certain percentage, that practice gets a certain amount from the vaccine providers, okay, from the drug
Wow.
companies. So that's been a known thing. If your practice has 90% whatever, then you get an extra bonus, usually a lot of money. So that's why it incentivizes pediatricians to push vaccines. So perfect example. Okay. My babies were preemies. When I brought my oldest one home, he was 4 weeks old. All right.
Oh,
Or 4 pounds. He was 4 pounds when he was like almost 8 weeks old. He was tiny. He was a tiny baby. So I took him to the pediatrician and my doctor said, he's really small. Why don't we delayed vax? Okay. I didn't really know anything about it. He's like, he's a tiny baby. How do you feel about vaccines? I'm like, well, I don't really know. I'm not feeling it. I was a little wishy-washy. Let's be honest. I was wishy-washy on it. And he said, okay, well, let's delay. He's awful small. Let's not give him anything right now. Let's wait because the weight, you're supposed to be 8 pounds. So he was a good pediatrician, not necessarily anti-vax pediatrician. He believes in
right.
vaccines. He still asks me about vaccines. He gives me a hard time. We joke about it as a joke. So he said, let's delay. That was the first time I had ever heard anyone, a medical doctor. Now, again, this was before pandemic time. This is before the pandemic, talk about delayed vaccines. Okay, so I don't have to do it on this day at this time for this thing. Oh, okay. And so then, rabbit hole. But usually you go in and these moms are just, okay, they expect you to vaccine right now. And then you come in at this time and you get your next vaccine. And you come in at this time and get your next vaccine. And really, this is not about the doctor's office. This is about when you get to kindergarten or preschool. In order to enroll your child in kindergarten or preschool, they have to be vaccinated. So before it was a whole hot mess to get an exemption. Okay. And they would give you a very hard time. You have to go sit in the health department. There's no way to do it online. And you had to do a religious exemption, which means I had to go to my pastor or whoever and get a religious exemption, or a medical exemption, which means I had to go to a doctor. So the paperwork was crazy on it. Like, I can't just say, I have questions on this. I don't feel right that this is a good choice for my family. I don't want to do this. So that's what a conscientious exemption is. Like, we just want to cut out all the extra. I shouldn't have to go to my pastor for a religious exemption. Like, why am I taking him a form to sign off? I don't
Well,
ask him what to do for my chemo. Like,
right.
why on this one
Right.
specific
Well, not
thing?
only that, but if the doctors are making money on it, and as a parent, you trust your doctor implicitly. It's one of those things. It's like, okay, you will tell me what is best for me.
Right.
Well, if you add money into the thing, into the mix, and the doctor's making money off you, how do you know for sure this is best for you or this is best for me?
Right.
Everybody's doing it. So it's like, no, not necessarily.
Right. And so the informed consent requirements that they have to provide specific materials and a parent has to sign off and they're given a paper that says, here are the risks to this vaccine. Do you choose to do this anyway? Okay, great. I'm fine with that. It's your child. You do what you want.
Mhm.
There is more than one vaccine administered at once, right? So this is also a discussion that you can request in that discussion for delayed vaccines. You can say, I want this, but not this, because right now it's like a cocktail. Like they give a whole bunch at one time. So
And they
this, not
didn't
this.
used to give so many at one time.
Right.
I mean,
Like a
there's so
perfect
much data
example.
out there for what's happened.
Perfect example is chickenpox. There's a chickenpox vaccine now. Great, but I had chickenpox. I mean, I'm not
You have
necessary.
your
I mean,
natural vaccine.
right. So I don't think that's a vaccine I want to give my children because I don't think that chickenpox is worth the risks. The disease is not worth the risks for me. Okay.
Right.
I'm not going, I mean, we all had chickenpox growing up. I don't, it doesn't, you know, not scare me. I know I shouldn't say that. We shouldn't, but this has kind of given us a community of fear. If you don't
Right.
do this, your child's going to get sick and die. Okay. Well, we also live in a great country where our antibiotics and our treatments for these diseases are way outweigh this. Okay,
Yes.
the reason we have vaccines in the first place that were mandated was from smallpox, and smallpox has been eradicated in the world. There have been no cases of smallpox in 20 years because our technology has advanced medically. Okay, if
Hmm.
my child gets sick, I can take him to the hospital and it's taken care of there. So, another thing that it does is the kickbacks, it really limits the Surgeon General's authority to mandate forced vaccines during public health emergencies. So, the Surgeon General can never require the state to give forced vaccines. Um, it has a lot of those very nitty-gritty things that we've been asking. It also says that we cannot basically discriminate. Okay, I can't except for medical. Now, medical has this little line in there for doctors, medical about them requiring. But every other job, I cannot require you to have a vaccine to work here.
As it should
Okay.
be. Because I
Does
mean,
it?
just think about it. Look at how many people were seriously injured or killed because of the COVID quote unquote vaccine and all the data that has come out afterward. Now imagine if they came out and said, okay, well, there's this new thing and we're not real sure about it, but here's this vaccine that we came up with within a year. So yeah, you have to take it. No more, never again.
Oh,
And it really is. It goes back to Nuremberg. Back in
right.
Nuremberg and what they were doing in the wars, I mean, was hideous to people. We were guinea pigs. They were guinea pigs. We're not experiments. And
Right.
all this is saying is informed consent. Let me know what you're going to do. That's all. Informed consent. It's kind of an opt in as opposed to an opt out. And whenever you have an opt in instead of an opt out, you have to educate. So all this is
Right.
saying is educate. You
I,
have to know what's in there. You have to know the side effects. You have to educate the parents or the people.
well, I kind of wanted to go through too some of the things that they're saying. Okay, here's what
Okay.
the other side is saying. So the other side is saying that there are 107 confirmed measles breakouts in the state of Florida. Okay, as of late February. So it's the third most in the entire country. We've had 107 measles outbreaks. Now, just to put it in perspective, there are 22 million people in Florida. 22 million, and 100 of them got measles. So it's like little picks of sand, okay, of that.
Hmm.
So, and measles is a curable disease with the medicines and the antibiotics we have now. All right.
Right.
Measles that goes untreated. Yes. But I'm telling you right now, my child breaks out in a rash. I'm probably taking him to the hospital. So, and they're going to take care of it. Okay. The second thing is they're having a huge thing that they're talking about this herd immunity. Okay. So right now in the state of Florida, 85%. The vaccination rate for kindergartners is 85%. 85. In order for herd immunity to work, it needs to be at 95%. So, according to their own data says that 95% of the population has to be vaccinated for us to have a herd immunity. We all have immunity to it. Well, Florida already falls below that, which is a very, I think the number is probably lower. So,
Right.
this herd immunity, they're saying you have to vaccinate so that my child doesn't get sick. But if your
But if you
child's
have a
already
vaccination,
vaccinated,
doesn't that keep you from getting sick?
exactly. So why do you care if my child gets sick? I'm willing to take that risk. It's like riding a roller coaster. Every time I get
Right.
on, I take that. It's like driving a car. Every time I get in the car, I literally take my life into my own hands.
Right.
Okay. So, and I'm willing to take that risk for my children. Risk versus, again, informed consent. Now, it is very interesting that when it went to the Senate, there were 2 Republicans who did not vote for this bill. One
Who
of
were
them
they?
was Gail Harrell. She's out of Stewart. And the second
Okay.
one is our friend Colleen Burton. And she said she wanted to protect the parents who wanted vaccinated schools. But
This would give them
again,
the choice. Go there.
right. And she was the head of the Senate Health Committee and she voted against it. She's been very against it from the beginning. But, I would say she's a friend. I mean, we live in the same county, so we see each
Right.
other.
Right.
You know
She's
what I
our
mean?
she's
So
our
she's
senator.
our senator. So, and then their big thing is they like to fearmonger and say we're going to have these huge disease outbreaks. And another part of this bill that we didn't talk about is the ivermectin. Ivermectin's going to be available over the counter because of this
Good.
bill. And so they're
Ivermectin.
saying,
Even the Global Health Organization, the World Health Organization, they have a list of the most important medicines worldwide. Number 1 on that list, single most important medicine, is penicillin. Number 2 on that list is ivermectin. And I don't think people realize that. Ivermectin is excessively safe. It's been around since the 70s. When it did come out, it won a Nobel Peace Prize for all that it did. It is, again, it's one of the safest things out there. And there's thousands and thousands and thousands of clinical studies and data on the safety of ivermectin. It is safer than Tylenol. It is safer than acetaminophen. It is safer than so many other things. It got bad hype. Just a thought. I could be wrong. Just a thought. But if everybody had been on ivermectin, I wonder what other maladies it would have taken care of.
right.
Just a
And
thought.
I mean, I think it's been a veterinary drug for years. I mean,
Well, it's been a people drug before that. It was people
right. It was a
first.
people first.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I don't have a horse in that race. I mean, I guess I do. I think,
Good
in my
pun.
personal opinion, it would be nice if we could do better with penicillin because penicillin literally saves people's lives when you
Yes.
have,
And there are people that are allergic to it and would kill them.
right. So,
Because my husband and my mother are both allergic to penicillin.
oh, ooh. So
But you have
again,
to know that. I'm not
right,
saying
you
no,
have to know
nobody
that.
can take it then.
Well, I'm
But
saying we all
ivermectin is safer than Sudafed.
right. And Sudafed has all these warnings on the back of it. So
Right.
this was a little provision that was stuck in there. We'll see if it goes through the committee. They might strike that. That was a little controversial, but in the bill as it sits right now, that is included. And so we expect that the Senate's going to pass this right away. So here's
Right.
what I would say is the end all for this one. Parents are the decision makers, not the state. Okay.
Right.
I choose what school they go to. Listen, I have to choose what diapers we use. I choose what diaper cream I use, whether I think it's healthy, this one or this one. I'm
You
constantly
choose
making
what
these
to feed your
decisions.
kids. You choose everything.
Yes, believe it or not, there was hours of discuss. My little again was tiny, so we had to do these extra formulas for certain things. There were hours for me of formula finding which one I thought was the best formula because there were choices. So why am I not given that same choice just to say, oh wait, this doesn't feel right to me or I don't want to do this about a vaccine when I'm allowed
Right.
for almost everything else to do with my child? So there are existing religious exemptions. Conscience exemptions just makes it easier and equal for everyone. If you want to
Right.
vaccinate, go for it. That's your prerogative. But we need to the other big part is parental rights and informed consent. We're not really telling parents that there is a warning label on these vaccines. This is the bad part of this. At least when I'm given chemo or anything, there's a stack of papers. And you're saying,
Right.
hey, I want you to read through this. Do you want to do this? Now, here's the good of this and here's the bad of this. If you do, we all understand that. Why aren't we given that same for vaccines? So that's all we're asking for. Informed consent is universally accepted. It's not controversial. It is
No.
American right. Like, that is not a controversial argument. Um,
So
so
what can we do? What can the grassroots, what can people do? Session starts tomorrow, the 28th, which is Tuesday. We have 4 days. Four
right.
days. Call,
So we
write,
Yes,
show up.
every single one of them will be voting on this, right? Every senator and rep will be voted for it. Listen, at this point, it doesn't really matter. Just call and say, "Hey, here's mine. Hi, I'm Rebecca Ricks. I just wanted to let you know we really want you to vote yes on the vaccine bill." They don't care. The person who answers the phone will know exactly what you're talking about. "Hey, I live in your district and I really want you to vote yes on this because I think you don't have to say anything more. Just, I really
Yeah,
want you to
that's
vote
it.
yes."
Super short, super sweet. Get the list of all of them and call
Right.
them. Okay, so where can I get the list? Where can we get our contact information?
Well, it's really easy. You can go online. You
It
can go
is
on your
easy.
website, I'm sure. I'm sure we have them there. Just Google. I just always go on and Google Polk County state rep, and it'll pop up with their picture and their name and their address. But I mean, there's easier than that.
Yeah,
they're
but
a lot.
you can also call. It doesn't have to be just your rep, your senator. You can call all of them. You can go to the floridahouse.gov and get the list of reps, floridasenate.gov, and get the list of senators. And if you have time today to make these 2-minute phone calls, not even 2 minutes, it would be great because you don't have to go into a long diatribe. It's like Rebecca said, just say, hey, vote yes on the vaccine bill. Vote yes on the medical freedom bill. That's called the medical freedom bill. Vote yes on the medical freedom bill. And all they're doing, the aides are sitting there and they're taking a tally. Okay, we had 16 yes and 1 no. Or nobody called about it. I guess nobody cares.
Right. I mean, it's like, let your voice be heard. If this is something you care about. Now, if you don't care about that, Saga, do you mind if we really quick go through the AI bill?
Yes,
Like
go
2
ahead,
seconds
please.
on the AI bill. Okay, so this AI, it's called an AI Bill of Rights. And it was pushed by DeSantis because there was in Orlando, there was a mom whose son died by suicide after an AI chatbot
Right.
encouraged him to. And so when DeSantis was in the villages talking about this with this mom, he said, we cannot turn it over to machines. Okay. It would set off an age of darkness and deceit. Lots of
Right.
talk about this. Right now, the state of Florida is actually suing ChatGPT for this because of the things like that. So it has parental rights in here. It has some consumer transparency. They will have to tell you if you're talking to a chatbot or an AI. It will have to say that from the beginning. And it has an anti-deep fake section in it, and it has very big government contracting restrictions from government agencies using AI. It also includes a piece about your data on AI cannot be shared. So this is a very big bill. Again, this passed the Senate but didn't pass the House. This is another very heavy parental rights issue. Whether you like AI or not, whether you use it or not, let's talk about the difference between an adult and a child. I think that there's a lot here that we should be very, very careful of. I think the agency, the government contracting restrictions is great because we're going to be able to restrict what we use in schools, what
Mm-hmm.
AIs we use in schools. It gives parents the right to supervise it. It makes you put an ID in for your child to be able to use it. Like, there's a lot of restrictions here that we're putting on AI. Um, if a school has AI tools, a parent can opt out of AI tools at school for them. Elementary schools will be banned from providing AI access unless they're banned from using it. The staff may use it, but they are banned from using it. They give an exception in here, which I'm not huge on, but for English learner translations, they're allowed to use AI for that, or for disability accommodation. Those are the two carve outs, which I think,
Mm-hmm.
a translation tool is very nice. And if it's a
Right.
specific audio translation device for someone with disability. So
Right.
those things, that's the second part. I mean, there's three really huge. I mean, and then the third part is the redistricting. So which we live in Polk, and we have 3 districts that are going to be affected from us of the
Well,
7
the
Democrat.
thing, it's not just about, ooh, let's get more of this, that. Our population has grown so much in the past 5 years, the past 10 years, last time it was done. The population has grown so much, it needs to be redistricted on those population numbers.
Yeah.
It's not
So,
gerrymandered.
right. If you're a parent, if you're anyone here, you just need to remember that we want parents over platforms and we want parents over policies or payments, right?
Yes,
So if we're saying no to vaccines, no one should drug companies shouldn't be giving profits off vaccines. So for no other reason, that's not saying you're anti-vax. That's saying we're anti-corruption. And then
right.
parents over uh, programs like these
Well,
things.
for
If nothing
the
else,
AI
if you
needs guardrails. So this
right,
is not banning it. This is
no,
guardrails. This is
we're not.
guardrails.
We're not banning vaccines. Like when people come out and say they're banning vaccines, we're not banning
No,
vaccines. You go do whatever you want. We're just saying, listen, we can't mandate everything, and then we can't give free reign of schools to use this AI that can be hurtful. We're protecting our
right.
children. And then we have the redistricting, which is its own little hot, you know, that's its own little thing. But those for me, on us, we could do some really amazing things. The AI Bill of Rights in Florida is groundbreaking. Nobody else has that. We will follow along. Um,
Because we
the
already have a digital Bill of Rights.
Right. So this just adds it to the AI, particularly for minors, particularly in schools.
Right. And
If you
this
want
has
to,
nothing to do with show us your digital ID to prove your age, correct?
no, this has to do with
Because that's a
schools.
backdoor to the whole control grid digital ID thing.
Right. So this was about the boy who committed suicide from it.
Right.
That was from a school computer. That was
Oh,
the problem.
wow.
He was on a school laptop with a school chat GPT. So, we don't want access to think like the parent never even knew because it wasn't even on a parent's device. So parents have the right to know what's going on to these devices or protect children from that. I mean,
Yes.
um, so so to me, they're common sense. Like the things that the objections people are saying, I'm like, well, that's misinformation. We're
That's
misinformed.
uninformed.
Right. Like I wrote an article earlier about the what was it? The $5 million misinformation. So there were lots and lots, if you're a mom on social media like me, and you love your Facebook because you're all about the good drama. And you want to see what everybody's up to. Plus it's somehow it's become part of our culture now. We get online and
Right.
we look. So there were lots of bot accounts, probably more than 20, that put out that vaccines are taken care of. No more vaccines in the state of Florida over and over. So the moms who cared about that no longer
Would
called
be
in.
quiet.
Would be quiet. So I'm going to post this. I'm blasting this out to everyone. Hey, listen, it's not taken care of. Like that
Right.
frustrated me. Same thing with AI. People think it's taken care of because there's misinformation out there. So that's why this program is so important. Informed about the things that
Informed.
are
We
going.
want to
Yes,
inform. We want to
and
inform.
and go
Okay.
in and read about it. Like, don't take our opinions. I always like go dig in
Right. Go
yourself.
go
Look
do
at a
your own
couple people.
research. Go do your own research. And while you're at it, make those phone calls. It's again a little 1 minute phone call. You can say, pass the vaccine, pass the medical health or medical freedom, pass the medical freedom bill, pass the AI protection bill, and get the redistricting done. Just pass them. Pass them. Give parents, people a choice. That's all we're saying. Informed consent and get the robots out of the AI out of the schools.
So, can I say this? There have been
Yes.
times when I loved and hated DeSantis. I love to hate him. Um, but here's the deal. He's almost done. Like he's out of office in November. Though we'll have a new governor. DeSantis really wants to make sure that these things get in while he was in office. He really
Yes.
has talked for a while that he was going to get this medical freedom one done for people. Like
Yes.
Salk and I worked on medical freedom bills before, and it's always
A
been that
lot.
he was going to get it done. Okay, well, his term is running out and he's forcing the issue to make sure it gets done. And if I know DeSantis, because he did this already last year, a very unprecedented thing. He was trying to get something passed and they decided not to do it. So he called a second special session. And then they didn't do it in second special session. So he called a third special session.
I love
So
that. I
DeSantis
love that.
is going to make sure these things get done. I feel like the redistricting is taking this over. So I wouldn't mind if this slid in underneath, but
Right.
they always hear from doctors, what, the other side comes out. We're really bad at building a army in peacetime, right? Like
Yes.
we because we think it's taken care of. And so now this is something that can change. So your one phone call, I always get chills when I say this. Your one phone call has effect on 22 million people. Every time we pass a bill, 22 million people are affected. And not just affected now for your lifetime, but your children's lifetime and your children's children. The average statute lasts for over 50 years. So you're making an impact that's going to affect people for over 50 years. Most bills get added to, not taken away. So this is a freedom you're adding to more families that you have no idea. If you are watching, you know we are all busy. We are all super busy. If you work a full-time job, I do not have time when I get off work or take a half day off work to go to the health department to get a form to fill it out so that my kid can go to kindergarten. I have a horror story on mine. I literally sat in the health department for like 5 hours when I got mine for my son for kindergarten because um, they didn't want to. And then they gave me a very hard time on it and guilt tripped me. Okay, well, you know, we shouldn't have to go through that to stand up for each other.
No,
So
these
please
are our
call.
freedoms. Our freedoms are being
Right,
taken away. We want, I want to say what goes into my body, my choice. What happened to all those people? My body, my choice. My child, my choice.
right. I have t-shirts that say my child, my choice. Like really, we don't want and the crazy thing about a lot of this is a lot of it's been experimental. So we don't let this is a whole different thing. I'm working on something to amend right to try, which means, if you're terminally ill, you get to try these drugs. Why is it so hard for us? In 5 years, only like 20 people have been able to get those drugs for right to try
Right. That is a whole
because they
different
don't.
topic.
That's a whole different topic. But all I'm saying is we continue to fight for the things that are important to you. Children are important. Um,
Our freedom
grandkids
is
are important.
important.
And
Our
freedom is
informed
important.
consent is important.
And I think these bills passed in the past. I had somebody ask me that. How did this even get in? Because people didn't know.
Right.
They were easy to slide it in and take our freedoms away with fear. And now we are much more. If you're watching this, you are probably very educated or self-educated on these issues that you want to know. And you're taking the time to learn about how you can make it better. Because I have to watch Saga on all her. I had to call her the other day about something else and be like, what is the deal with this? I don't know. What's the deal on this topic? And she told me because I know she's the expert on that. I don't always have time to do all the research on all of it.
Right.
But
Right.
I do know about freedoms, informed consent, and parental rights. So your call does make a difference. It really, truly does. So make
So
sure
your
you take
action
the time
step
to
for
do that.
today is go make at least 10 calls. You can do it. 10 calls. It's super duper easy. It would be less than 15 minutes of your time, probably including going to the government websites, the state, Senate, and the House websites, finding definitely who is in your district, who is your senator, your rep. But you know what? Call 3 or 4 more. There's more is better.
More is better. And
Better.
call those house people. Just let them know you're for it. Your vote matters. Hey, it really truly does. We get into this mindset that it doesn't matter, but on issues like this, it truly
It
matters.
matters. All right. Rebekah, thank you so very, very much. I greatly appreciate you and all you're doing. And people, go make those calls. Thank you. Bye-bye.